about Bera, right? The Bears.
Yeah.
Really cool ecosystem. Excited to dive into some Berachain stuff. I've known about Bera for quite some time. I wouldn't consider myself a Bera expert, but I definitely am an OG to that whole cult and ecosystem. If you are familiar, if you are a Bera, you know that it was derived from the Olympus DAO community, which arguably is, one of the most what's the word, polarizing, riveting ecosystems in DeFi. That season was one to remember. Definitely, I'll put on the Mount Rushmore of DGen DeFi, Olympus DAO, its forks, and from there came Berachain, which still stands strong today. So that's kind of goes to show how strong, that just the ripple effect that left behind, because now we have Berachain, a 3 billion plus TVL blockchain built on a brand new consensus mechanism, which I'll all kind of say is a combination of proof of stake and proof of work to make proof of liquidity. So what
Yeah,
exactly
let,
is
let's
that?
uh yeah, let's jump into each thing piece by piece. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned that it's kind of a cult. Now, why would people call it that?
Well, they would call it a cult just because of course, not only the vibes, but just the diehard nature of the community, the staying power, the passion, and when it comes to put your money where your mouth is, the liquidity. You don't just have 2 billion plus in TVL for no reason from day one. These are people who truly believe. These are people who are truly here to stay. The core bear ecosystem is, I would say, what any crypto community sort of strives to be like. A true movement, I would say. And
Right.
why
S-
is that? Let's get into that.
Yeah. So, yeah, when we say cult, normally sounds like a bad thing. But when we talk crypto, diehard community, they're going to pump your bags, they're going to market it, they're going to onboard users. So you want a cult in crypto. In other situations, not so much.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think you just nailed some of the key parts on the head. Why it's important to have a passionate community like Bera has. They are going to push for the chain. They're going to push for their ecosystem projects. You see how the Beras really rally behind builders in the Bera ecosystem. They onboard their friends, they onboard their family. Anytime the crypto conversation comes up, whether it's new retail users, whether it's existing power users, crypto natives, they're going to mention Berachain, why it's so great, why you should have your money there. So let's go ahead and find out some more about that today. Why don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are thousands and thousands of blockchains, but very few with a TVL, that's total value locked, of over $1 billion. Now, that is probably one of the most differentiating things when it comes between blockchains. How much do people trust that blockchain and how much money are they willing to put on there? How much do they trust that blockchain? So that does say a lot.
Right? As the old saying goes, money talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people are putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to Berachain, 3 billion plus TVL, nothing to scoff at. That places them well within the top 20. I believe they're in the top 15 at least, if not the top 10. Not sure if you can pull it up. CoinMarketCap has their top 10 blockchains by market cap, a category that can be pulled up. And not only
Yeah, I just brought it up on DeFi Llama. It's ranked six among, I guess, among the chains at a 3.4 billion TVL. So that's high. That's very high when you
absolutely.
talk about all these different chains and the competition. So right now, as far as growth, it is ranked sixth. Ethereum is in first place, followed by Solana. Bitcoin, there's all these different Bitcoin layer two, so I think that's what it's combining. BSC, Tron, surprisingly, with just 34 protocols, Berachain with 41, followed by the more well-known ones that you already probably know, like Base, Arbitrum, Sui, and Avalanche.
And just even looking at those three that are directly under Berachain, these are household names when it comes to the game of crypto. When you're
Yeah.
talking about Sui, Arbitrum, and Base, made from Coinbase, And what's that sitting right in front of it is Berachain, which to a lot of even power users may seem or sound obscure, right? It's like, what is this one? Right?
Hmm.
Tron,
Hmm.
everyone knows Justin's son and him propping up his chain and trading with himself. But then also he had
He
Sun
makes it
Pump
happen,
in
though. He
his.
makes it
He
happen.
makes
He
it
gets that
happen. You
attention.
cannot hate. This is not hate. Don't get it twisted for hate on Justin's
Yeah.
son because he truly makes it happen, and is
Yeah.
in any given cycle has a point where he's the main character, right? You know, these main
Hmm.
characters in crypto, he has a few different main character arcs. So shout out to Tron, but Berachain, very interesting because seemingly came out of nowhere. If you weren't aware of that cult, like I was and some like the Olympus users were from early on, it seems out of nowhere. It seems a little bit obscure. You might have heard about it if you're an airdrop hunter and hearing about new chains coming out that have demand and that have hype, you may have heard about it. But to a lot of the widespread market, it's like, what is this? It kind of came out of nowhere, and for it to have billions in TVL and sustaining that. It's not like it just did that on day one and after the first week it
Hmm.
fizzled out. It's sustaining their liquidity. A lot of the time with these new blockchains, you see a huge amount of users leaving once the
Oh yeah. They
TGE has
cash in.
happened. They cash in and they're like, "Oh, perfect! I got my airdrop," or "Oh,
Hmm.
finally I can sell my tokens, and I'm out of here." But
Right.
one thing that you must pay attention to is that following this TGE, people are staying and people are actually adding new liquidity onto the chain and the liquidity staying. So that's definitely something as a DeFi user you want to pay attention to, right?
Yeah, the
That means
yields
there's
are pretty
opportunities there.
high. Yeah.
Yeah, that means there's opportunities there, there's incentive there, there's a reason users are keeping their funds on Berachain. And I have a few different reasons and theories why this is. And especially with a VC presence, usually I'd be looking for the exit as soon as I can, right? Because there's just so much amount of exposure from huge holders like VCs, but people are staying, users are staying, the VCs are
Yeah.
staying, and what is the reason for this? I think number one starts with their proof of liquidity. But you had something you wanted to
Let's
add there?
yeah. Yeah, let's jump into that in a second. So I'm pretty I'm on the outside of Berachain, just looking in, where I'm just like I'm trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what's going on there, why people enjoy it, and my resource for what's been going on in the Berachain ecosystem has been Josh through Retail DAO. So he's sharing like the hype, what's going on, the excitement on the ground at events like ETH Denver. Now, at ETH Denver, you met a lot of the Berachain team. Can you share what can you actually share about what happened there, and what can't you share but hint at?
Yeah, there's some stuff I definitely could not share, which honestly speaking, like take that as you will, in a bullish way as well, that I can't share, and also for some other reasons. But when you talk about a crypto community, I feel like every and any crypto community can take a page out of Berachain's book and can aspire to be like that. Because when you talk about the community, the builders, what the chain is doing for the users, I feel like Bear Chain is the ultimate example of how to be, even just seeing from the IRL response and the IRL activity. It's really amazing the way they're so inclusive. I believe one important thing is just that from the top down, a lot of the founders, the builders, are given a lot of free reign to really build the way they want, unrestricted, and with the proof of liquidity consensus mechanism, there's sort of something in it for everybody, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And I believe why there's so much liquidity and so much staying power within Bearchain. The cult is really strong, community vibes are really strong. They're really a fun crypto project. And honestly, like projects try to do different things to have sort of a culture going, but they're truly fun on the inside and out, like on chain, off chain. Their side events were a ton of fun, the after parties, and it's a real genuine vibe over there. On top of course, all the great tech and things that they're doing.
Yeah, exciting. Like just from the things I hear about it, I'm like, all right, I've been missing out. I gotta get into Berachain, and that's what today's video is about. We are gonna get onboarded into Berachain, and we'll see what that actually means and how much friction there is if you're already a DeFi user or maybe you're still new to crypto.
Yes, 100%. I actually got the pleasure to meet the founder of Berachain, Smokey. A lot of the top projects on there, such as Infrared, Ramen Finance. I got to vibe with the team, got to see how the team vibes with each other and vibes with the founders.
Now, I
You
have a
wanted to add something?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Smokey in panels and interviews, and he's always wearing a bear head. You know, it's like this big
Yeah.
foam bear head while he's
Yeah.
having these very serious conversations. Now
Yeah.
you got to meet the team and hang out with them. Were they all wearing bear heads? I just need to know that.
No, I got the honor of meeting everybody mask off. I saw the
Oh,
masks were off, the bare
yeah.
heads were off. During the panels, it was funny seeing them throw it on, but again, like I don't want to say too much, but a lot of the core community sort of knows the vibes and knows what's going on. But yeah, cameras are off, the masks are off. You know, there's no phones at a lot of these events, no filming allowed, or not allowed, but of course, like not encouraged. Although a lot of these founders are in docs, that's part of, I guess, part of the culture too, and just even crypto culture. You know, it's public and anonymous at the same time, right? But it's a real family vibe and a tight knit vibe, a lot of trust and things like that within the core Bera ecosystem is what I noticed. The masks are off, but the phones are off as well. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
cool
you're
to see them. I
fully
was like, oh,
in the
that's
moment.
you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really in the moment. And that was one thing that was cool. It wasn't even about documenting the moment. They're enjoying everything together, and it was a cool experience.
Yeah, I
I
get
would
it.
say
That's
for real.
something that is hard to do these days when we're like
Yeah.
fully connected, fully online, full dopamine at
Yeah.
all times.
Yeah, 100%. And especially with us, right? We're content creators. The cameras are usually on for us and stuff like that. But it was really cool to vibe with them and to see definitely a genuine vibe over there.
All right. So yeah, let's learn about Berachain. So if you're not familiar with all these different blockchains, each blockchain can do something different. For the most part, blockchains are kind of these ecosystems where you can run decentralized applications. Those are things like lending protocols, earn interest, play games, social media stuff. So when it comes to these ecosystems, they're all slightly different yet kind of the same, but it really depends on like the community there. You know, like you can have X, you can have Mastodon, you can have Reddit, but everyone's going to have a different experience, and if there's not enough users there, you're not going to have a good experience.
That's right. That's right, 100%. And that's one thing that they definitely are not lacking, which
Hmm.
is users, I guess, user experience. When you hear UX, you're usually thinking about like UIs and just how seamless things are when you're clicking around. But I say Berachain's UX transcends that a little bit. Just the literal experience that you're having being a part of that community, right? And the fun
Hmm.
that you're having and really feeling a part of something. So that's one thing they did a great job on nailing. For instance, one fun thing that I liked on their website, a lot of memes can take notes is that when you go on their website, you don't scroll down the site. You actually scroll up. So once you start on the website, it starts at the bottom, and you scroll up because Bear is up only. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh,
So
I
there's
get it. Yeah, let me find that website. Yeah.
yeah, if you want to pull it up for them.
I have to
And
look through Twitter first and get the official site because I'm not using Google. Google is a
yeah,
very dangerous thing to use when you're in crypto.
Google's so behind when it comes to crypto. It's not like searching
Yeah.
for Web2 sites. You definitely want to go from the source. But you scroll up only. You see?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
So,
Okay,
I,
so when I first went to the website, I was like, "Oh, there's nothing here," and then I was clicking down here, and I didn't understand up only, meaning you have
yeah,
to scroll up. Yeah, I'm old. I did not get this at all.
yeah, up only. So it's a
Yeah.
simple but powerful original thing with just little things, little details like that. For sure, they do a great job at nailing. But yeah, so they are coming a little bit different. They are
Hmm.
technically a fork of Evmos, but they've done so much to differentiate themselves and to be an original experience when it comes to proof of liquidity. I think that's part of the reason you see so much liquidity locked on the chain is just the incentivization of providing liquidity. Providing liquidity actually secures the network. So you'll see on Berachain, there's always tons of liquidity with a lot of their top projects, and they aim for that to really be the experience across the entire chain. And that's because of their proof of liquidity consensus mechanism, which is almost like a combination of proof of stake with a little bit of hints of proof of work. So they have Bera, and they're going to be introducing, or they have BGT, which is their governance token, and validators secure the chain by staking the gas token, which is Bera. But then with proof of liquidity, as I mentioned in yesterday's episode, for these validators, your liquidity isn't locked up. You can go ahead and yield farm and do different things unlike other chains that you might see on, built on the Cosmos SDK, where all these funds are sort of stuck and a whole bunch of different things like that. So I think that's cool how they're taking a new consensus mechanism and not just going on what everyone's doing. So that kind of differentiates themselves a little bit in that way too.
Okay, so let's say I want to get started with the Berachain. What kind of wallets do I need? What do I like? What's this process look like?
Yes, so Berachain, although they are built on the Cosmos SDK, they are still EVM compatible, meaning that most of exactly the wallets that you see right there are compatible with Berachain. You got Kepler, Rabby, Phantom, MetaMask, all which are now EVM compatible. So definitely they spread a wide array. It's listed on top tier exchanges such as Binance. They were on Binance from day one. So if you're on ramping fiat into crypto, you can get your Bera even just directly from a centralized exchange such as Binance, and then go ahead and send it to your hot wallet, your Web3 decentralized wallet, and then just like that, you're ready to get started on the chain.
Okay, let me connect, but I'm gonna hide that a little bit. You guys don't need all my information. Yes.
Yeah, fair say, fair say,
Yeah.
fair say.
But yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
just like EVM. You got a wallet, you connect, you're in as long as you have Bera for gas. So, BGT token, can you explain what that's for and how that works?
yeah, so BGT, it stands for Bearer Governance Token, which, according to them, it's a soul-bound governance token distributed by the validators, right, for proposing new blocks, which is ultimately rewarded to users who provide ecosystem liquidity. I feel like this is a
Mm-hmm.
big reason that you see a lot of liquidity being added by users and a lot of just even regular users, not just validators, not just the team, not just VCs, providing large amounts of liquidity. And in a way, this is a sort of evergreen mechanism or a mechanism that goes ahead and is constantly supporting the chain with liquidity, which ultimately gives you a better UX, faster transactions and a whole bunch of things, less slippage across the chain. So they have BGT pretty much ultimate rewarded to users providing liquidity, which can then be swapped to Bera, and then it's always just a liquid experience is what they're aiming for. They want the most amount of liquidity, and I feel like they've done a great job in that. Just on the fact that they're already top 10 in TVL. I feel like that's a
Mm-hmm,
testament
mm-hmm.
to the sort of the mechanics that they've built into that. Now,
Okay.
sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
so yeah, so we got some of the breakdown of what they're doing with the token and the liquidity and incentives, and we'll get into some of the applications first. But let's talk about the community. Let's find out like what's the hot communities? Where can people go to like check out if that's the right vibe for them?
Yes, honestly, I guess it all began with the Berachain Discord. Once you get into the Berachain Discord, you can actually go ahead and see it's like a language that they have, right? You might hear a lot of Bera saying hello, you hear ooga booga. A lot of it sounds like, like what is this? But you spending a little bit of time in their Discord and talking with a few different communities, you start to sort of understand the vibe and understand the language. It's like they have their own
Mhm.
language. Crypto is already a language in of
Can
itself.
can I get the translations of Henlo and Ooga Booga?
Yeah, so you got Henlo, which is your universal Berachain greeting, right? So you say
Oh,
Henlo, you say BM instead of GM, and you say
okay.
BN instead of GN,
Yeah.
right? And so it's a little bit, I guess, like some of the verbiage, it could get a little bit crude. They always talk about being retarded and a whole bunch of
Hmm.
stuff. They try not to overthink it. They dumb it down, but underneath there's actually this complex tech that they have. But on the surface, they purposely sound like, in their words, retarded, right? So that
Okay.
that's what they go for, and
Yeah. We're not going to use that out of context, right?
yeah, we're not gonna use that out of context. So I had to go ahead and
Yeah.
preface that properly. This is
Yeah.
their language. I didn't make the rules. I don't make the rules. And so
Hmm.
yeah, they go hello, ooga booga. Ooga booga is I guess like just a general greeting, like hey yo or what's up man. Ooga
Oh,
booga.
okay.
They have a different. They have I guess just like your expression, like an exclamation. Ooga booga. Ooga booga. I just got an airdrop. Ooga booga. Like that was amazing.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy this because I do not understand all the terminology, and maybe we should make a list so if people are
Yeah.
curious about crypto terms, because there's a lot of different terms and no one knows what the hell means. We
Yeah.
can break down like what we do know.
Yeah. So there's the crypto terms that you get in DeFi, as we know, like WAGMI, right? Or
Hmm.
up only, different things like that. And they
Hmm.
they have I guess a subsector within that just for the bears and the bear chain. So yeah, and stay tuned. We should make it like a translation list, a thesaurus, if you will, for
Yeah, that'd be a great
DeFi.
clip. Just a bunch of clips. Bam, that's what that
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
I think that's a good one, honestly, especially for onboarding new users. So yeah,
Yeah,
they're doing things a little bit differently.
yeah, just like a simple one for people who are outside of crypto. A lot of people just say GM. That's kind of like my interpretation is it's just good morning or hello, even though it's not morning. Depends. Everyone's in different time zones. It's
Yeah.
just a simple hello.
Yeah, exactly. That's a little bit easier to use. But as you
Hmm.
get more into it's kind of that's a fun thing as well. Once you are at least started on the Berachain ecosystem and you meet another Bera, they can tell right away if you're really a Bera, right? By your verbiage and by a few of these different things. So I find that pretty fun.
Yeah, undercover
Now,
cop test. You gotta.
exactly. Exactly. Now the OGs, Berachain itself started off as just an NFT project. It wasn't a blockchain at first. At first it was just an NFT project, the Bonk Bears. And from that it evolved to a crazy place. And that's sort of how it all started. And now it's one of the strongest cults in all of crypto.
Yeah, yeah. Like I remember missing the opportunity of buying one of those early on. I was like, that's probably not going to be something, and then it turned into
Yeah.
something very big.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think that was like a
Eventually.
super valuable airdrop, and it turned into like multiple stacking airdrops, right?
Exactly, exactly. So, in the same fashion of Olympus DAO, which had its rebasing, right, where every few hours your tokens would rebase, aka multiply, aka inflate in a way. Bearchain had that concept for their NFTs, but it was every few months your Bear NFT would rebase, and you would get two NFTs for the one that you had. So it started off with the Bong Bears, which minted for I think maybe it was like 0.15 ETH back in the day. Um,
We'll get into
and
that final number later, but yeah, let's keep
yeah,
going
if
with
you
what
wanted
it
if
turned
you
into.
wanted to even pull it up on OpenSea to see how much each Bong Bear is worth, I guess they just say it's priceless. The Bong Bears you just see. I don't think anyone even lists them before the airdrop. Yeah, the Bong Bears really did some big numbers. I'm just gonna plug in my laptop to make sure it doesn't die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was ridiculous. And so for each one, for 0.15 ETH, your Bong Bear rebased into two, I believe it was baby bears next, and then two baby bears rebased into two. Yeah, if you want to pull up
Nothing.
the floor
No,
price there.
no items found. The zero listed, But if we go to like
Yeah,
last sale, some are like 40 ETH, 75 ETH,
yeah,
some 135 ETH.
yeah.
Wow.
My friend got his off. I believe he got his off for around 50 something ETH. So yeah, this was probably one of the most successful mints of all time. Technically, you don't hear about the Bong Bears like you hear about some of these other NFTs. But if you minted a Bong Bear, you know, it hurts me to look at this because I was staring at the
It
Bong Bear
does.
mint. I was staring at the Bong Bear mint page on my laptop back when they dropped, and that was a big miss. And yeah, the Bong Bears are
Yeah.
completely priceless. Those are the true OJs, true OGs of the ecosystem. And I believe they
Yeah.
got something like maybe like $1.2 million on the Berachain airdrop per Bong Bear.
Yeah. So
And you're
I got a story about this too. So
okay,
I listened to this other podcast called Token Terminal, and I believe they had a guest from Digits DAO, and the
okay.
Digits DAO guy, like over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, was
Oh
super
yes.
bullish on these bears, and he said he started buying them when they launched. They're at 2 ETH. He just keeps collecting them, and he said they're gonna be big. It's gonna be big. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get one. Then I was like, 2 ETH. That's a big investment, which it kind of
Yeah.
is, but it
But
turned
in
into something
retrospect,
very valuable. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
because I've
Digits
been burned
DAO.
on too many NFTs. Like they all went, all everything I bought went to zero. So I'm super cautious.
Yeah, Digits Down. I followed Digits Down, Digits Capital, and I remember exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking about. Yeah, he was one of the true maxis. Yeah, he killed
yeah,
it. He killed it with
yeah.
that. And then for every Bond Bear you had, you got two baby bears, baby bears to Bond Bears to Boo Bears, whatever the whole thing is. And then each time, and each one did insane numbers. And then if you held the Bong Bear, I'm not sure. My friend, he had maybe one or two bong bears, and then ended up with 64 bit bears. That was the final one that came out before the Berachain launch and the Berachain airdrop, and all of these NFTs got definitely well taken care of if you held it during the airdrop, and if you held all the way through and you believed all the way through, and you didn't sell any bears until Bear Chain finally came out, and you believed through the bear market and the bull market, which is stood through, then just hold. All you had to do was hold a bear. All you had to do was hold a bear, and you would have made it already. You would have already succeeded in this bull run because that
Yeah. Can we talk numbers? Like, do you know the numbers? If you held one bong bear, how much did that make? How much did someone pull from owning one bong bear from the beginning?
if you held the whole way through, someone did a
Yeah.
breakdown on it. Someone did a breakdown. It was so
That would be another
stupid.
good like short video. Like by the way, it's like how this person turned 0.15 ETH into 10,000 ETH, or I
Yes.
don't know how much it is. Yeah.
There is a founder. He's probably gonna be listening to this or even watching this. We're gonna do something with him. I can't dox him. I can't expose him. But he held all the way through. I believe he might have sold a couple of the small ones in between on the way, but he ended up with $7 million from the NFTs alone, and the rebases and just holding them through. But he did have more than one bong bear. I believe he had two bong bears, which I guess that's zero point 0.3 ETH if you minted, and
Yeah.
held them all the way through, held the rebases. And he, just from that airdrop alone, there was a ton of other incentives and different things he got along the way. But just from that airdrop on TGE on airdrop day, mind you, fully liquid, $7 million US. And I mean that's a success story for the bull run for any trader and for any crypto user,
Hmm. Hmm.
especially just pure DeFi user. That was open to anyone. Anyone could have bought one at any time. It wasn't like a insider cabal play or anything like that. He's not
Right.
on the actual Berachain core team or anything like that. Anyone could have done this, and that's what shows a true powerful crypto project that really had a lot of wealth creation and value add for their users. So yeah, so I found that
Pain.
very interesting with
Yeah.
Berachain. Yeah, the pain is there. Trust me.
But that just goes to prove like how strong a community can be, and
Yeah,
they were active, they kept building together, and that's why you have kind of this cult where you have these diehards who believe in it, who want to be a part of it, who just keep investing in it, and that's how you drive value to something. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, did I lose my audio? Hold on. Hey, Josh, can you hear me? Oh, I think maybe I died.
How about this? How about this?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. There we go. Okay, we got a little technical difficulty. I wasn't sure if that was me. Let me double check and play some
Check in one, two,
audio.
three. Check in one,
Oh,
two,
there we
three.
go. Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
Are we back in action?
we're back in action.
All right, where was I? Yes. So like I was saying, I think one thing that we can't just brush over and one thing that we can't scoff at,
Hmm.
anytime there's these huge liquidity events, let's say an airdrop or a group of people was able to profit big time on an
Hmm.
ecosystem, a lot of the times that kind of marks the top as far as people extracting liquidity. It's like, okay, down only from there. Airdrop recipients who got a lot, they sell off. And a lot of these projects, whether it's a chain or a coin, starts to kind of fade into obscurity because, people already made money. It's over, like you're late, right? Oh,
Hmm.
you're late. You missed the boat, right? But one thing I feel like we can't scoff at is that despite this, Berachain still going strong, still increasing their TVLs, still shipping, still attracting new liquidity, still attracting people to the cult, even though the OGs have, profited handsomely.
Hmm.
There's still opportunities there. There's still excitement there and attention there, which is actually
Yeah,
kind of
exciting.
rare,
It
right?
doesn't happen often. Yeah, most people exit like immediately, and that's also because of VCs. But if we look at some of the coins that still have a strong cult community, those are things like Ripple, Cardano. Um, but when it comes to like the ecosystem engaging and rewarding those users, you don't really see that.
Exactly. You don't really see that. And that makes you take a second look. And it's like, what is it there that people are staying for? If I get into a random crypto project and I happen to be one of the blessed ones to profit handsomely, let's say six, seven figures, you always see it in crypto, just like a game of musical chairs. You exit, and once when a lot of the big holders start to exit, it starts to cascade a lot of the time, or
Hmm.
VCs
Hmm.
starting it. VCs hit the door. What I thought was really interesting was a lot of these top recipients, even a lot of these VCs, are fully liquid at launch. So it's like, hey, the door is there if you want to go. You have the bag in your hands right now. We're not. The one thing I thought was really cool, like the founders and the team wasn't restricting, was very unrestricting compared to a lot of crypto projects. Like with a lot of new chains, you see long vesting terms, you see, strict terms and a whole bunch of stuff to sort of, negate people from hitting the door right away or when they want to. Berachain
Hmm.
said it's open season. Our validators are unlocked. Our OGs are unlocked. Our biggest airdrop recipients are unlocked from day one. The door is right there, and they stayed.
That is crazy to me. Like I would have assumed everyone would have exited, but that's just my experience from seeing a
Yeah, that's
bunch of other
crypto.
crypto projects. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crypto. And people are like, oh, bird in the hand. I got it right now. I gotta go. Right?
Yeah.
It's not easy to win in crypto. It might seem easy, but it's also at the same time not easy to win. So
Hmm.
it really is a testament to what they're building. It's like, wow, people really believe in this, and it's some of the smartest users too. A lot of technical guys, a lot of people with a lot of experience in crypto, people who were around for the 2021 bull run, and a whole bunch of different things. So that's what really made me take a second look and take a deeper dive into Berachain, show up in person to some of their events and find out more, talk to the team, talk to the community, get involved, and sort of look under the hood. And
Yeah.
the things I saw and discovered were quite exciting, to say the least, and definitely excited to deep dive into Berachain on this show more and more.
Yeah. So let's take a look at a couple decentralized applications and things we can do there. So if anyone wants to get started on Berachain, like where can they get started? So what are you looking at in the Bera ecosystem?
Right. A lot of the time, I like to follow the money and sort of go from the top down. That kind of gives us a pretty good scope and a pretty good place to start. And when I was going ahead looking on chain, seeing some of the data, infrared really starts, I would say, at the top with a lot of where people are farming, a lot of where people are, providing liquidity. It is a proof of liquidity chain. Yes, perfect. You pulled it up. Like it says, proof of liquidity in one click. As you can see there, yesterday when we looked at it, or 2 days ago, it was at 1.4 billion in TVL. Now today's at 1.74 billion in TVL. So that TVL is going up rapidly, and those numbers are rare in crypto to have true liquid TVL over 1.5 billion, and that accounts for more than a third of the chain's entire liquidity, right? So I like to go from
Yeah.
the top down.
And again, the the chains that have over 2 billion are very rare. Are very rare.
Very
Most
rare.
most people will never see that. You'd have to be in the top 10 to have a TVL in that range. So yeah,
Yes.
once we're outside the top 10, Avalanche 1.14 billion, then Aptos at 988, 703. So yeah, and there's hundreds and thousands of different active blockchains. Being in the top 10 this early with a growing TVL is very impressive.
Yes, I would say, to say the least. And even just looking at number 6 and number 7 on that list and making a comparison to the two, right? So at number 6, you have Berachain right in front of Base. Now, mind
Yeah.
you, Base is Coinbase's blockchain. Coinbase, which is essentially the kingpins of crypto, arguably, I would say, along with Binance. Just their retail adoption, their amount of retail users, Web2 users, and just the amount of funds that they have, the resources. They have direct integration with a lot of things with the SEC and Congress being their official, I believe, like official accountant or something like that for crypto
They're
in
the
Congress. I don't know,
custodians, yeah.
custodian rather, pardon me. So all that being said, and having all this sort of official backing for Berachain to one up them in a more like pure user uh, fashioned ecosystem, whereas Coinbase, I'd say, is more institutional, right? I feel like says a lot, says quite a lot, and that's what crypto is about. The power of the people, right? Bringing the people together, the community together, and together the community can beat the more industrialized, the more tradfi style approach to business, to finance, and to things like that. So I feel like that's something that's very special to the Web3 community, and a
Yeah, I gotta
testament to
add.
how well they're
I
doing.
really gotta get into Berachain and get into my lineup. So my usual lineup is Sui, Arbitrum, Base, and Solana. Ethereum
Yes.
every now and then, but yeah, most of my activity are on those chains.
Yeah. Definitely, I think it's worth a look.
Hmm.
Not to say that there aren't VCs involved in Berachain towards later in their development to pull off some certain things and to get the liquidity up. They have some VC involvement. However, they are actively actually trying to buy them out themselves, like from the founders and from the team. They're actually trying to get a lot of the allocation back. I believe they did what they had to, I guess, with the VC
Hmm.
contributions, but they don't want that reputation looming, and they don't want the VCs actually around because it truly is a community first chain. And I know a lot of blockchains say this, a lot of random projects say this, but an example of this actually being a thing is on Bearchain.
Oh, someone asked when was Berachain launched? I believe they launched mid-January or last month, very very recently.
Yeah, very, very recently from when the chain actually went live.
Hmm.
Been in development though, however, technically from 2021, as far as like the Bong Bear NFTs and just the
Hmm.
beginning of their journey. But
Now
official
we
launch
also
just
have
a month
another
ago.
comment. I don't know if this is a real thing or they're trying to trick me to saying something, but what are your expectations about Steady Teddy?
Steady Teddy.
Yeah.
I'm not too aware about Steady Teddy.
All right, that's
It
why
hasn't been
I
saying
wasn't
a lot
sure.
of.
Is this a trick? Is this a trick? Is this a real thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure 100% about that. There are a lot of fun projects that are
Mhm.
on Berachain that are, using bears, teddies, cubs, different sort of mascots that are in line with the chain. But I
Yeah.
didn't do enough research on Steady Teddy to have an opinion there.
Yeah. So when I was looking at, I think I posted it on Twitter recently. Someone was talking about the ultimate BD final boss, and it was like a list of like 30 different protocols. And I only heard of OpenSea on there, and I was like, are these real? They were all real projects, and they all had like very similar names to existing projects. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, I thought it was a parody.
No, that's pretty funny. No.
Mhm.
Like the final boss of BDs, what was that number one?
It was just like a list. Basically, they were doing business
Okay.
development and they were doing marketing and had to work with like all these different projects. And, if you're doing marketing that in crypto, that's tough to be able to differentiate something that is exactly the same as a lot of other things.
Yeah, 100%. It's its own niche, 100%.
Mhm.
But if we're talking BD, I feel like again, they killed it. I'm not trying to glaze Bear Chain too hard, but yeah, their BD is top notch. Just like I said, just from community vibes and a genuine ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fake this number. 3.4 billion, rank 6 as the newest blockchain on the top 10. So that is
Insane.
why we're looking at it. That's why we want to learn about it and find out how to get involved if it's something we want to do.
Right. I'm not sure if it's only on my end, but you are starting to get the robot voice.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I think yeah, probably the connection for me. You're a little the connection looks a little glitchy. I'm getting a low res version, so it might be the
oh,
connection.
odd. Maybe it's the connection. Okay, mine looks fine on my end, so it could be mine. But yes, some interesting stuff there. And for all you guys watching, we do plan on doing more deep dives, not only into Berachain, but into a lot of the top projects on there and what to do on there. We have some interesting things that we're building and cooking up and lining up with Berachain ecosystem projects and more deep dives. Hopefully, we can get some interviews for you guys with some of the founders and some of the builders on there to get a better understanding of what the builders themselves are thinking about the future of Berachain and the best sort of strategies to position yourself accordingly to be able to, profit on this movement or get involved.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a lot of value.
Yeah, so luckily Josh is good at making these connections so he can learn more from these projects that are trending. Whereas
Yeah.
I, at Consensus, did the opposite. I just learned about projects that were getting hacked the next day. So I didn't have the best experience. Yeah, so I forgot to tell this story yesterday.
Okay.
I was able to connect with Infini. Now they do these retail debit cards where you can earn interest on your holdings there. And then they were
Nice.
like boasting about their $50 million TVL. And then the next day, they got hacked for $50 million. So everyone
No
on that
way.
platform lost money. And I'm like, oh, I don't
Oh
know if I can
my
release this
gosh.
interview for retail now.
No way. The next day is
The
insane.
next day,
The
yeah. And
next
I was like,
day is
well,
insane.
yeah, yeah. If that
And
happened a little before that, then I was like, all right, no, thank you, bro.
nah, I'm good. And that actually
Yeah,
reminds me, just like a lot of these crypto superstitions have a way of making themselves real. That's like to me, that sounds like the equivalent of, you just hit a 50x, you took a screenshot. By the time you're done sending it to all your friends and showing your family and siblings, you
you're
look at your
liquidated.
phone
Yeah.
and you liquidated or you got rugged, right?
Mhm.
And they were up there boasting their 50 million TVL. What happened the next day? They lost it. Another example, Bybit hack. We all remember that happened. If you're
Mhm. Yeah.
watching the Bybit Twitter, I saw the Twitter just the day before. The founder was beefing Pi Network because Pi Network said they don't want to be listed on Bybit, and then I guess they
Yeah.
had some friction back and forth. And the Bybit founder, although he's beloved, he did a bit of flexing right? Like, oh, we're good. And then the next day, the very next day, they suffered a hack from Lazarus themselves. North Korea
Right, right.
went ahead and rinsed them for, I believe, it was the biggest heist in crypto.
Yeah, but to be fair, Pi Network is kind of known in China, he was saying, as a scam where they tried to get old people involved, where the police actually try to stop people from getting involved in Pi Network. Now, when Pi Network launched, it has a pretty high TVL, and it's slowly been dropping since then. In the past day, it's down 13%. So again, this is one of those situations where you could be wrong or right in the short term, but long term, it's probably going to zero because there's no demand for it, and a lot of people can get this token for free. So people are
Yeah.
going to be looking for an exit. And again, if we look at the market caps here, 11 billion, fully diluted value at 158 billion, ranked 11 for total market cap when
What?
there's no demand. So it's crazy. I'm shorting this and
Insane.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy about that. So
Yeah, keep that short up, man.
that's one of my uh, bets that this
Yeah.
and many others will kind of go down over time.
Yeah, no, I say that's a really good bet. Honestly, I would short this all the way down,
Hmm.
all the way down.
Hmm.
Now we know they have a very high FDV, but you mentioned they also have a high TVL. Do you have those numbers up?
I don't know about TVL, but yeah, only a small percent, 7.19% of the supply is available. The other day it was 6%, so I guess they're slowly unlocking it for
This is
founders,
crazy.
which is why the price is dropping. So yeah, I'd be careful
High
with this one,
FDV, low float.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's
Yeah,
going
to
to be
me,
easy
honestly,
to
anytime I see
manipulate.
high FDV, low float, huge red flag.
Hmm.
Huge red flag. When you have
Yeah,
high FDV, low float, this is the ultimate version of that with over 100 billion FDV with only 6 or 7% on the market. That sounds like
yeah,
the perfect recipe for disaster, according to my metrics. I'm not even sure exactly who the insiders are and the
yeah.
VCs involved, but
Historically,
there is a lot of supply that is ready to hit the market and probably gonna dump.
yeah. So, historically, there's been two situations with that. ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. I remember when they launched, each token was like 400 US dollars. Now it's like less than 10 because they had the same situation, extremely high, uh, fully diluted market cap, low float. And then, yeah, it just kept going down. And the same situation happened with WorldCoin, where, they're scanning people's eyes, getting their identity, released only
Yeah.
1% of the token supply when they launched, and it's been down only since.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I feel like a lot of these projects are preying on non-crypto users, new users to crypto, some sort of people who don't understand how supply and market caps work. WorldCoin was, promoted as something for everyone, digital identity. You scan your iris, you get this orb. And same thing with Pi Network. They were targeting, the senior community, a lot of the elderly,
Hmm.
and people who may not actually be crypto savvy or tech savvy, but the ones who know, they probably carry similar sentiment as Dan and I with this, right? Because we've seen this story many
Hmm.
times before. So yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm not sure how much TVL they actually have. I'm gonna try to pull that up. Pi Network, while a cryptocurrency project, doesn't have a traditional TVL per se like DeFi platforms, as it's not a DeFi protocol. Instead, it focuses on mobile mining app and community-driven approach to blockchain technology. They have
Yeah,
no
that doesn't mean
DeFi
anything. That means
focus.
they have
That doesn't
nothing.
mean a
That
damn
means
thing.
they like, hey,
Yeah.
just keep mining this. We give you this fictional token, and we send it to zero.
Yeah, see, so there's market cap and then there's TVL. I love to look at TVL way more so because it's showing you people that are actually putting a real liquidity, actually putting up
Yeah.
real money into this initiative, into this blockchain. Whereas a market cap, highly manipulatable, highly. easy to manipulate, rather, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So it seems like a lot of smoke and mirrors going on with Pi Network. Whereas Berachain, you see the hype, you see the community, and it's like, okay, let's see what the numbers are. Let's see how much people are actually putting their funds into this, right, and how it's going for
Mm-hmm.
them. And then boom, you see 3+ billion TVL. That right there, green flag for me. Whereas Pi Network, they say, hey, 100 billion FDV. You can't even see the TVL because honestly, there really isn't. People aren't putting like so.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they're doing. Their mining, right? So
All right. Hypothetical question.
yeah.
3 billion TVL. What if 1.5 billion of that was North Korea? How do we feel about Berachain then?
Well, I mean, hey, the incentives are
Exactly.
there. So
Questionable. But that's not even a hypothetical. For a while, North Korea was the biggest holder of Ethereum before they
oh my
converted
gosh,
it through Thorchain to Bitcoin, and now they're one of the biggest Bitcoin holders.
that's wild. Of course,
Yeah.
you can't really trust them. You hold your breath, but at the end of the day, it's the nature of crypto. It's decentralized. It's for everyone. It's supposed to be a global resource for everyone to get involved with. If the yields are there, the numbers are there. Clearly, North Korea understands how the game goes.
Hmm.
Then they're gonna put their money there too. Although there are of course, there, you know, not people you really want to deal with as far as them getting
Hmm.
involved. However, crypto is for everyone. DeFi is for everyone. It's accessible for everyone. And if the yields are there, they're gonna go farm. They're gonna farm too, just like us.
All right, I'm gonna give a wild prediction here. North Korea is going to continue hacking different blockchain projects and continuing to grow their stack.
Hmm.
Developers and hackers and scammers are going to start catering to North Koreans, or maybe they start glazing, their leader. They might make North Korea chain. They might be making North Korea specific dApps. That I think is going to be the dark timeline of crypto.
Yes, honestly, that's crazy to think about. I never thought about that, but you have an amazing point because they're honestly super active, one of the most active in the space quietly, right? It's almost even a taboo to even say those two words, North
Right.
Korea. It's like, ooh, it's like, but then you have Lazarus Group, which hacked Bybit, one of the leading exchanges, which was behind and Lazarus was behind so many, marquee crypto hacks, big time crypto heists, and it's
Hmm.
you don't want to think about it, but we are in a space that they're in here with us. They're trading with us. They're among us, whether we know it or not. We're all on crypto as
The,
anons, right?
Yeah, and
And
a lot of devs are hired remotely, and that's where the biggest vulnerability is, because sometimes those devs are North Korean hackers that have been working for that team for years.
and they know the game. They know the game.
Hmm.
So definitely, it's also a reminder to always be careful in crypto. Always protect your assets, protect your IP, protect your location, your identity, a whole bunch of stuff like that, because you never really know who's who. Even just some of the people in a new Discord and spreading vibes. You could be among a North Korean hacker or someone from
Yeah,
that. So definitely, crypto's fun, but you want to stay safe.
yeah, or you lean into it. It could be either way. Either way, both
Yeah, or
acceptable,
you
I
need it
guess.
too. Yeah, 100%, hundred
No more
percent.
retail DAO, just North Korea DAO.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. But yeah, no, that's
Not
definitely
yet, at
interesting
least.
to think
We'll wait.
about.
We'll wait. Depends on how bad things get.
Yeah, 100%,
If
hundred
they take all
percent.
my money, it's like, oh well. If they give it back, or that could change my opinion.
I just feel like they're always listening. I feel like they're always listening. Just us saying that, they might even tune into this episode one day. Who knows?
Mm.
But
No,
yeah,
unless
definitely.
we have a high TVL. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If our TVL gets high enough. But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. As far as what Berachain is doing, I wouldn't be surprised if they caught the attention of North Korea. To be honest.
Yeah. Just all right. That kind of slowed down this conversation a
Yeah,
little bit.
you can feel the gears turning. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it
Oh,
got real for a second.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we're
It got
coming up
real.
on an hour, but let's take a quick look at some things you wanted to share about Berachain.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we went over a lot of sort of the
Mm-hmm.
baseline stuff, introductory stuff, what they're roughly about. You know, you definitely want to go ahead, and they do have their own official bridge. They partnered with Layer Zero 4, making it quite interoperable and accessible to most DeFi users. But then also for regular Web3 users, Bera is available on centralized exchanges like Binance and a few others. And from there, you're able to just simply withdraw to your crypto wallet. And that saves you the process of bridging if you're not familiar with it or don't want to go through the hassle of that. So, definitely to get started, quite easy. And I'm excited to get into more deep dives on that. Today was sort of an overview for you guys, just to sort of get an idea, get a feel for it, get a vibe for it. But in the coming episodes, we will do some more hands on stuff. I'll get on my screen, connect to some dApps, show sort of the yield opportunities, how much we're making, sort of crunch a lot of the numbers, and see some of the cool things to look forward to on Berachain. You know, I'm an airdrop hunter, so I'm always looking at the new upcoming chains or upcoming projects rather with demand, and I plan on covering a lot of that too. So definitely stay tuned to Retail Radio because we plan to bring you a lot of value when it comes to this.
Absolutely. So yeah, Josh's channel is 0x King Capital. There's a link in the YouTube description. I believe you might have that also in your Twitter account now at GPT Joshua.
Thank you. I will add that. I believe I
Yeah,
have it
yeah. I was
until
thinking maybe you should
download.
add it if it's not
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I will do that. I'm actually gonna do that right now.
So
But
yeah, we're
yes,
trying to make more content. We're trying to find out what's going on there and take a more active role in, I guess, content creation. That's been kind of a passive thing for me as far as like, what am I interested in? What video do I make this week? And it's kind of like whatever comes to mind. But if I'm doing these conversations and doing these live streams, it's a lot easier to think up different things. And if I'm answering questions where people are asking about what's going on in certain things, that's easier to answer. Like live streams, much easier than planning a video and going through and editing everything.
yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. But yeah, another good one in the books here. What's a? I guess safe to say at least every week we'll be doing these. At the least.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this is on my channel, but we're it's more of it's going to be appearing on Retail DAO. Right now, there's like no subscribers, so no one was going to find this video. So I appreciate the people coming in, hanging out. We're making a lot of clips because that's also easy too. Trying to get in on that short form content game, and we're gonna
100%.
level up our content creation together as we all take this journey in crypto to make money, whether you're going short or long. And you should be going short on a lot of these projects.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Are we also live on X
We are live
or
on
not?
X on Retail
We are
DAO
live on X.
and my Twitter account. We could also set that up for yours too next time.
Yep, for sure. We'll do that. All right, sweet.
Exciting. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you have questions, save them for next week. We'll answer them at the top of the show. All right. Thanks for
That's
joining.
right.
Catch you later.
Thanks for having me. Until next time. Cheers.